Morning guys, I am out on the S18. As you can see, it's the matte black version. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. It is pretty chilly. I think it's about 14 degrees here in the UK. It rained and the wind was pumping yesterday, so I didn't get out. I didn't get a time to actually ride. But this morning there's a break in the weather. It says it's going to be good. The wind is still very strong. I'm going to go down the canal and see if I can get some miles in the wheel, just because it's such a nice wheel to ride. I've made some suspension settings, so I want to test that. I'm also using a different pair of shoes. It's more like a trainer compared to the Vans I usually ride with. So the Vans are very low or very flat shoes, very hard. And I want to try the different shoes and just feel how it feels like, because a lot of people say they get like pains in the legs and the calves and the knees and whatever, and I know that if you ride with flat shoes, hard shoes compared to softer sole shoes, it makes a big difference to your ride. Yeah, I've also set the wheel to 25 mile an hour tilt back, and the first, second and third beep is also on 25 miles. So come along and enjoy the ride. Oh yes, please subscribe. I want to try and get to 1,000 subscribers, so I want to see if I can do it. It's my challenge. So I'm going to make ride videos for you guys as much as I can, because I want to see if I can get to 1,000 subscribers. It's my challenge, my 2020 lockdown challenge. So come along, and I hope you enjoy the ride. Now with the new settings on the shock, it feels so much better. So this is the highest settings according to the leaflet. So I'll show you how it performs, or how it drops down a curb, so you can see the shock compression. I've done about a half an hour ride, and this little section is so nice next to the canal, but it's almost like a horse trail, where the horse's hooves basically cuts out like small little holes, and it's just so bumpy. Even with the shock on, it's just, even cycling, anything next to this section of the path is so bumpy. The shock makes it much better, but it's still, it's hard work for the shock. Let me show you. Not fun. It's only this section. It's like hard clay for some reason. Got a cow. Morning. It's sort of amazing. I came past here a few days ago and it was dry, and the trail is totally different when it's dry compared to when it's wet. And this is the things you need to learn about. Firstly, your wheel, getting used to the wheel, and also the trail. I think that the more you ride, the more you get used to everything, and the easier you can adjust to different settings. And yeah, it's weird, windy, muddy, and different shoes. The shoes make such a big difference. So yeah, still good fun. It's not raining, so I'm happy. Just watch out for walkers here, but it's so nice. It's almost like it's hard stone, but it's been compacted. Some thorny stuff sticking into my hand. Woohoo! Lucky for the gloves. It doesn't want to leave. It likes me. How weird. This little thing is so sticky. It's got fine thorns on. Okay, so I'm on the section where I couldn't do the extra range test. And there's no one here. It's super narrow here. But nice. Whoa, fallen tree. Small one. Super windy today. It's like this is not like the UK. It's supposed to be very calm. You know, we sort of moved from South Africa to sort of get away from the wind because it pumps there most of the time, and it's been very windy here. Morning. Only one fisherman so far. That's good. Here's some more of the super narrow path where it goes up and down like that. Can't really go very fast. Check it out. I haven't been down this section of the canal in a long time. It's very nice. Very nice. Okay, I'm at the turnaround point. This is now just over an hour's ride in one direction. So I'm gonna start making my way back. It's all the way to here. It's been straight in the wind, and the wind is really strong, as you can see there in the trees. And I've been making I've been doing a much faster pace on the way here because there's way less people here. I'm down to 64% on the battery. I didn't start with 100% in the beginning of the ride, so it was what, 96% battery I think, but you can see in that little I'll put it into the onto the screen. So yeah, I'm gonna make my way back, and then we'll see at the end. So 64% battery on just over an hour, and I've done I think just over 11 miles. Yeah, it's like more consumption than the previous time, and I think that's because I'm riding fast. Well, the only thing I can think of is because I'm riding faster. So yeah, let's see. So it's going to be 25 mile an hour setting on the wheel, and yeah, so let's see what the stats is when I get home. Let's go. Just a quick update on the shock settings again. So what the guys are saying you need to do is you need to oil all the moving, or the areas where there's movement. So right there in that joint there, on there, up there, and there's another one, there's a last little one. So that little one there, on both sides, you need to apply a little bit of oil, because it does run from the factory, but it's always good to put a little bit of extra oil in there. So that's the one thing they say. And then the other thing that they do suggest you do, so make sure that everything is lubricated properly. You don't have the lockout set, so that's the lockout. I'll show you. It moves to there, then it becomes really just like the shock is locked out. It moves very little. I'm running the shock at the moment at 165 psi in the main chamber and 75 in the rear chamber, and say with my gear on I'm about 75 kilograms, and you can see I've got enough play on it, so even dropping down to curbs it doesn't go lower than that, so that's quite good. And also the shock model, let me see if I can get in there. It is a AOY 36 RC DNM air shock. Just another note on the shock. They also say if you're having trouble with the suspension not running smoothly, and you've done all those type of checks, everything is clean, everything is lubricated, and you're still having a very stiff suspension, doesn't really compress and decompress nice and smooth, then you need to knock out those blocks there. Now that's a metal spacer keeping this sort of in line. So there's one on each side, and they basically say you put a Allen key or a screwdriver on that block there, and then you knock it out and it should slide out. Yeah, so that's a spacer block on both sides. Looks like it's just aluminium. I don't know why that would make a difference, but that's what they say. I haven't done mine yet because I haven't had any issues with the suspension being sticky or anything. Just a quick note about the suspension. You know, when you ride normal trails and stuff like gravel and road and you know, just normal riding, well, what I class as fairly standard riding, this suspension makes it a big difference. You know, it takes all that small little bumps out. I think if you do big trail riding where you do big drops and stuff, the suspension will even be a bigger difference, and you're going to probably need more travel to soak up the bigger bumps. But if you ride smooth forest trails, even a little bit of bumpy forest trails, you can even get away with less travel, because you know most of us are so used to using our knees as suspension, and just taking that small hit out with a suspension, with even a smaller suspension, would make such a big difference. So I don't really think you need massive suspension. I just think you need, well, very good suspension that basically soaks up all the bumps and it works smoothly and is robust and whatever. But even if the travel is shorter, it will make such a big difference to everyone's ride. But the thing is, with the suspension comes the complexity, the Gotway MSPs or whatever. They are rock solid. There's nothing, well, there's very little that can go wrong. It's a wheel, nice fat squishy wheel, and you use that as your main form of suspension, and then and you just use your knees when you go. So the complexity is way less, and if they can sort that out, that the complexity is easy to maintain, easy to tune for everyone really, then it's going to be sweet. I don't have any complaints about the suspension. I think it's awesome, but it's a lot of people just want to get on the wheel and ride, and not worry too much about losing pressure in the main chamber and the negative chamber and tuning too many things. They just want to buy a wheel and ride it. There's only the few of us that is keen for doing big trail riding, big jumps, and stuff like that needs the fine tuning. It's like anything, mountain biking. You sort of buy this mountain bike that can go down a trail and down a hill at Mach 1, but the normal people or the average guy don't really use it. It's nice to have it, but you don't really use it. You just need something that works very well. Sweet spot. Okay, now that ride is done, and this is very interesting because I did pretty much almost the same distance, a little bit further, 23, almost 24 miles, but it was very windy, so all the way for just over an hour it was in there into a headwind. It was very strong wind, and I also we're traveling at a higher speed than the previous video, so I didn't have the lockdown to 20 miles an hour. I set it up to 25. It's not that much faster, but and I was also able to keep a higher pace next to the canal. So yeah, interesting range results. The previous video I said, you know, you can probably get about, what is it, about 40-50 miles? I don't think so. If you're gonna ride this wheel fast, you're gonna get probably about 20-25 miles, 30 miles. I'm sitting at 37%. I'll put the little screenshot in of my ride. I've done 2 hours, 23 point whatever miles, so say 24 miles, and I'm sitting at 37%. So and I'm getting told back at 22 miles an hour now, just because the battery is saying it's getting low. So total different result. So higher speed, lower range. You sort of expect that. It's not a very big battery. So I would probably say for a fast ride out, 25, say 20 to 25 to 30 miles, depends on your weight and you know, if it's up or down, hill climb or whatever. But for the hardcore guys, taking this wheel out, it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun, but the range is not going to be it's not going to be that far. Hey ho, I still love the wheel. It's great stuff. It's awesome. It rides really nice. Just another note about the suspension. You know, I ride with my knees bent all the time because it just takes up the extra shock. And if I do hit a pothole or anything, then I'm sort of prepared more. I don't think I'll ever ride this wheel with a suspension with straight legs. It just doesn't feel right. I would rather like to have the double protection of using my legs and using my and using the suspension. So yeah, it's awesome. Guys, so I'm pretty much done. 2 hour ride, I'm done. Gonna get some breakfast. Hope you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna get some more videos out, ride videos. If there's any questions you've got, please drop it in the comments below, or any tips or tricks, please leave it in the comments. And then I will see you on the next ride. Have a good day. Cheers.